Hello, this is Lisa Hazard with We Are All Psychic, and tonight we have an interview that I've been waiting for since I started this podcast a year ago, probably today. Omegia is here, and she is going to tell us about all the crazy things that have happened to her, and she might answer the question if we think we're all psychic. I met Omegia many years ago, maybe in 2009 or 2010. I actually got to meet her in person one time, and she's just one of the most amazing people. So, Omegia, would you like to say hello?
Hello, how is everyone?
Why aren't they answering?
I know, right?
So, Amiga, what would you like everybody to know about you?
I think when it comes to, knowing if everyone is psychic, I absolutely believe it. It is something I've always felt since I was young. I've just always known. So, I mean, even when I meet people that don't believe in it, I'm like, well, you know what? It don't matter because I can see them around you.
Yeah. Can you remember like the first, when you were real young, like the first time someone told you that something you were experiencing wasn't something real or wasn't something other people experienced or anything like that?
It actually wasn't until I was like a teenager because my family was always, my mom's very, very open with it. And it's, it was never, um, it was never a thing when I was a little kid, but I think it was like when I was in high school and one of my other friends used to was talking to another friend and it was like, yeah, Mika's house is haunted. That's why I don't spend the night up over there. And the person was like, I don't believe in that stuff. Like, that's, they kind of more said it like, because they are very Christian. And
Yeah.
it was more in tune, like, well, if you believe in that stuff, you believe in, those are demons. And it was more of that type of thing. And I was just like, well, whatever, believe what you believe. I kind of,
Yeah.
I
So
kind of always,
you didn't take it personally or think like there is something wrong with me. These people are right and I'm wrong or anything like that.
no, it wasn't until I was an adult that I actually took it personally when it was, back in that time. I want to say, what was it?
Like
That
80s
20
or
that 2012, that 2012,
Oh
2014 time
yeah, yeah.
when everything was just, the spirits would not be denied during this time in my life. They were, I don't know what happened, but it's
So
like a window opened and I was just, the floodgates were open and it was just daily, day and night, day and night, day and night. It was just like so much going on during that time that it was it was nerve-wracking how much activity. And it wasn't just me, it was my kids too. So it was an all around like assault, I want to call it at that time. And I don't really think that they were trying to do anything bad to me. It's just everybody was trying to reach out and talk to me at the same time. But I didn't know that, I'm just waking up and things are there, or I'm just trying to go to the bathroom and something else is in my bed. It was just insane during that time. So when I had that, the guy that I was kind of dating at that time, and I was trying to tell him, he was like, "Oh, it's against my religion, and I don't talk about, I don't talk about this thing." And I was like, "Well, you kind of, I mean, I get it's against your religion, but the fact that you're shutting me down and talking about it, and this is something like during this time, I was terrified, like." Terrified because I think I kept seeing was it like those, I want to say that they were ancestors. I mean, they just looked like kind of those, like the shaman. It was a shaman that I seen once with the orange hair, but then the other ones were those, shadow people, and then those colorful orbs. Like it was so much going on. And that one guy, Steven, that kept showing up the night. Remember, I was like, what do you want, Steven? Like that's all I got from him. Like once I finally got his name, then he stopped showing up. It's like he just wanted me to know his name. It was insane.
so so they're pretty excited. They're you had said to me when we were trying to figure things out that they were happy, like you felt like they were happy, they're excited.
They're so excited right now. Just the fact, oh, she's talking about it. She's not right. I'm frustrated. Yeah,
So
yeah. When I'm very creative, and so I'm a writer and in the film industry. So when I'm in that creative zone, they like to creep up on me. And so I think since, I just finished filming and everything, that, that energy is just so high for them, and they're just, all over it.
Some spirits they do definitely love the creative types, and then some are muses and will come. So we'll back up a little bit and let's let the listeners know like exactly like or somewhat what you're talking about when you say they come to you or they wake you up. Like who are they? What types of spirits? What do they usually want? What was your first experience with that?
Shoot, I don't know what the heck they want right now. But mine are, I don't really get repeaters. I get mine come in all different types of shapes, forms. Sometimes I see the shadow people.
Tell us about that. Yeah, what do you think that is?
I honestly don't know, but the shadow ones, I think they're the ones that scare me the most, because you're looking and it's darker than dark in that area of the room. Like I could clearly see in my room at nighttime, it's not completely blacked out, but in that spot is extremely it's darker than dark. It's like a void, almost like a black hole. And then you see it move. And so It's like, and they always move towards me, which is the thing. It's like right when I have that moment when I'm looking, be like, do I see? And it's like, yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they do a little whoosh towards me, and it always that's when it freaks me out. Like though when that happens, those are the ones that I've ran into the wall trying to get away from.
Oh. I would too. I try to run through the wall anywhere you can get, It's like
that's the thing. It's like I'm trying to go, and it's like my body. I don't even have a time to even process what's happening before my body is like, get out of there. So I don't know what that one is. Then I get they're like blob orb type things, but they're moving. They're kind of like liquid.
Kind of like a lava lamp or something, or like
kind of like a lava lamp is actually the best way to describe them. But they're always moving and twirling, and then I typically see it'd be like a light. It's not white, but it's like a kind of a grayish or off-white, and I always see an orange. Like they're doing a little swirly twine. Now those, they keep their distance most when they're together, because I think it's two spirits together, honestly. And normally they're together, but when the grayish one or off-whitish one is by itself, it's curious. And I hate it because I'm always laying down and I open my eye. I know it's there before I open my eyes, and it's like, I want to say about 6 feet away, but right above my face.
Ooh. And
it's just doing its little movement around. It's like a little and it's almost hypnotizing to look if I don't get scared first. It's almost hypnotizing, the movement, and I'll sit there and look at it for a second, and then I realize that's my body realizes, oh shoot.
And then you're all the way awake and you're like, oh. So do you ever get any communication from those types, the ones that shift and move? Or
no, I never get any communications from those. I get communication, like I said, the one guy, he kind of told me, like, I don't know, I heard his name in my head, but him, I can clearly see it was a person. Like, I can never forget what Stephen looks like. He looks like he was like medieval time, he looked like he was a knight on a horse. Like the horse was there too. That was the craziest thing. He was on his horse. He was on his horse at the foot of the bed, and he just, like a knight on a horse, like just looking at me like, I'm here to save you, madam.
Did he?
I don't know, because
he might have.
It's like he showed up for a week straight. It was like the first few days we were having this stare down. I'm like, what you want, but I'm not saying it. I'm just looking at him. He's looking at me. He's looking at me. And then he kind of gives me this glare like, okay, well, whatever. And disappears like he's mad, like, whatever, I'm gone. And then finally, I was so tired because I've been filming. I was so freaking tired and I just wanted to sleep. And Steven, that 422 is his call time. He likes to, he was showing up and he would be there. And I like sat in the bed and I was like, what do you want, Steven? And then I was like, huh? How do I know your name? It was so crazy. I was like, oh my gosh, how do I know your name? And it's just like he gave me a smile and then faded away. I was like, really? Just the name?
He wanted you to acknowledge his name for some reason. Yeah.
Just the name. And I had that the Victorian crying lady.
No.
She looked like she might have been a servant or something. I wouldn't say she definitely wasn't a slave. She was like because she was dressed way too nice. But looked like it was a maid uniform, and she had her hair like pulled up in those high buns that they used to have.
Yeah.
And then the little white apron on.
Okay, yeah.
And this night I was asleep, but I woke up and then I like walked to my bathroom and like I opened the door and my whole bathroom was no longer my bathroom. It was like a Victorian bathroom. And she was sitting on the tub crying.
Oh,
and I kind of was like, well, I shut the door real quick and came and I went and I hopped back in the bed because I'm like, oh, heck no. Hold on. I hopped back in the bed and and she came through the door. Like, she stopped right outside the door and kind of looked around. Then she like noticed, like, I'm trying to pretend like I don't see her.
Right.
Like, the fact she came looking for me, and she came and she moved, glided so close, like she got inches away from my face, like looking at me, trying to see if I saw her. It was so I kept my eyes lowered, but she was doing the stare down to see if I saw her, and I was not. I don't know who she was, but I was not acknowledging her.
No,
don't know what was going on with her. And then she just like kind of said, and was gone.
Wow. So,
but no, she's still here. She just doesn't do that anymore.
Oh.
She's the one that likes to tug the covers off the bed now. And because I remember she's wearing this old brooch thing.
Yeah.
So I see her hand sometimes. I've caught her with the hand that'll reach up over the bed and kind of tug the covers. But I think what it is because I normally keep my bed so neat from me being in the military. Like, my bed is perfect. So when the bed is unmade, it's like she's pulling, it's the same motion that I do to snap the covers tight.
Oh yeah, to make the bounce a coin off it kind of tight. Yeah.
Do that to yank it, but I'm in the bed. So she's snatching the covers up off me. I'm like, oh my God. Please stop.
Let's wonder what she's up to. Is she in your house now, or is this back?
Oh God. Yeah, that lady has not left. It's hilarious because Dexter now always accuses me of taking the covers up off of him, and it's her. And it's like, no, it's not me snatching the covers. That is so her. She is the cover snatcher. But I want to say, before I actually seen her, I think she's been around pretty much since I was younger because I've always had the cover snatcher.
Oh, okay.
And that's something I remember from when I was little. And I used to think it was my dog pulling the covers, but my dog wasn't even allowed in the house. So I don't know why I used to be like the dog. And I fuss at the dog.
Anything but the ghost. Yeah, as a kid.
So she's not bad. And she's also nosy.
Oh, yeah.
So I think, like, when I seen her before, her hair was up, but I've caught her out the corner of my eye, and her hair, the silver hair is down. And she's one of the ones who gets really excited when I'm working.
Okay.
And but she gets nosy and she gets too close like that.
Oh,
I can't, I can catch a glimpse of her out the corner of my eye, but like, I can feel like that getting up on my shoulder, almost trying to look over my shoulder to see what I'm doing. Like that super nosiness.
So let's talk about that. I'm kind of curious. You've said a couple times you feel they're there before you see them, or you like visual contact or anything. What does that feel like when you feel them around you? Like, is it with your like empathy, or with like just it's impersonal body space kind of invasion? Or? Yeah,
it's almost like somebody's in my person, because I don't like people close to me anyway. So it's like that and they enter my personal space, and it's like, come on. Almost,
Yeah.
just like even if a real person walks in a room, they're in a room before they're in the room.
Right. And
Yeah, it's
a lot
that.
of people talk about how they can feel people looking at them. Is it kind of
Hmm.
like that? How you?
Yeah, it's absolutely that. You feel like you're being watched.
Right.
And
And no one's,
thankfully, they no longer watch me while I'm in the bathroom.
you good. Laid down some walls, did you?
Yeah.
If you have figured out any way, because I'm sure there's somebody listening who can relate to it, maybe what you're saying has these kind of things happen. Do you have any advice for them to possibly tame down the spirits or appease the spirits, or maybe make the scary ones like stay away from the bathroom and stuff like that? Do you have any advice?
Um, my only advice I can give is once I started getting mean with them and like just not taking any mess, they back off. But when I was
Put your
sitting there just
boundaries.
yeah, once I was just sitting there being scared the whole time, it's like they didn't care. But now I'm just like, what you won't leave? I don't feel like dealing with you right now. Go, like when I and sometimes I completely cuss them out and they're like, oh, okay, bye.
Not a good time, I see.
Yeah. We'll be back tomorrow. Try again.
So what do you think it is? What is it about you that you think made you susceptible and open to all this since you were born, since as far as you can remember that these spirits have been here? Because a lot of,
I just
I've talked with like Misty, someone I do regular interviews with. We talked about that. Like, how does someone get to that point? But you already were just at that point.
she unplugged the computer. Hold on.
Oh, she did. She's yeah. Well, somebody messed with my volume right when you started talking about Patrick, right? Patrick?
Steven.
Why did I think?
Yeah.
When you said Steven, my volume was just went crazy, and then it was way up and way down and way up and way down.
She literally just unplugged it from the big pack. And mind you, I must say, like, it's impossible for this one to come out. This is a brand new computer, so it's not like it's loose and it could just follow. It has to take some yanking in order to get it out. But she yanked that bad boy out.
Well, we knew we'd have some more technical difficulties, most likely. So, you know, who knows
but
what
I'm
else.
used to that. Yeah, I'm used to that because I've had, like I said, I've had that type since I was younger. The playful, the one that I had younger was called Joseph, though. My mom is the same way.
Right. Okay. So your mom.
Yeah. My mom is the same, and my brother Maurice is definitely, because I used to always wonder why Maurice would get up at nighttime and all the lights would be on, and I'm like, what's wrong with him? And come to find out, the shadow folks.
Well, when you and Maurice and your mother, I mean, was it always openly talked about, like just like everybody does this, like this is normal?
Well, my house has always, like I said, people used to say my house was haunted. There's always been a known spirit in my house. Joseph, we just started calling him Joseph because that was the person that owned the house prior to us, but like in the 1920s, and he died. And we just felt like it's an older man up in the house.
Right.
So I mean, because it's stuff like, back then it was only one TV in the house. And so we're gathered, family time, we're sitting around the TV and we're talking about the TVs with the dial. There's no remote. He would start turning the dial on the TV.
You'd be watching it.
Yeah. And so, but this is the funny thing. If we were trying to watch stuff that mama wasn't watching, he was turning to mama's channel. So we were going to end up watching PBS or the Nature Channel. And
he wasn't letting you do anything else.
The dial would just pop until it got to that station. It's like, really? Stuff like that. Or sometimes, like if you're sitting there and all the family wasn't on the couch, I come from a very large family. I'm number 7. So
that's a good lucky number.
Yep. Number 7. He would come sit on the couch and you would see the indent of him sitting on the couch. So we would be like, oh, don't sit on Joseph.
Yeah.
But I just remember, like, with my mom, when she was dealing with she was the nurse, when she was dealing with a lot of racism, you have to understand the times here. This is the early 80s, late 70s. Mom was dealing with a lot of stuff at the hospital. So many patients. My mom was at the time they didn't really have hospice, but they had the nurses that would still deal with the dying patients. That was her. And people, some white people, unfortunately, did not want my mom to see them, but their parents, it would be their children not wanting to see it, but their parents would be begging for the Black nurse, which my mom was the only Black nurse.
Yeah.
Because like whatever she has, she crosses people over. She has that. So, you know, when she was going through whatever was going on, I just remember it was just a really bad time for her. The house was so active. Like we would be downstairs watching TV and it sounds like somebody was upstairs bowling, like so mad, so avid.
Right.
And I mean, this went on for years.
Wow.
Like whatever she was dealing with at the hospital. But as soon as she finally left the hospital, it calmed down. And then Joseph went to like, Mama would tell me to clean the room. And like this house is the old shotgun attic upstairs. So it's just long and big. And we built another door up there so it can actually be 2 rooms dividing.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Dividing the room. So, but when you walk upstairs, you're literally just walking right up into a room. Ooh. And so Joseph, Mama would say, you know, make sure your room is clean. And I'm like, well, it's already clean because I'm always, since I was little, I'm so neat and tidy and just even in a house full of a lot of folks, my own space has always been so neat and tidy. And like, it's already clean. And then we'll go upstairs and it looks like a tornado went through the room.
Oh, he's just wanting you to work.
just meddling, meddling. Just playing around, just things like it started just being the jokester.
Right.
That. Yeah. But then one time my uncle came to stay with us and he was a very bad person. My uncle was a horrible, horrible man. And I was 8 and he tried to molest me. The spirit snatched him off of me and threw him into a closet and shut the door. Now, this closet door does not have a lock on it. It didn't even have a handle on it. It was just literally this little drawstring that we'll pull and close the door, open and close the door. It locked him up in there.
Wow.
Yep.
And what happened after that? Did you get your mother and get help?
My mom, I went downstairs, but mom was already, I guess he had tried to touch my sister, my older sister or something. Oh. So she was already in the process of getting him the heck out of here. She just was trying to figure out where he was.
Right.
And he was upstairs
happened fast. Everything
it was
really
very fast. It was Joseph did not play. And anybody, I could say, anybody that came over that house that meant ill for my mother, because like I said, during this time frame, I also got to describe where my house is for people to understand this too. My town that I grew up in is a small town in Indiana. Northern Indiana is a very segregated town. It was one of the towns, like if you go to the Civil Rights Museum, it's one of the towns where riots broke out, during the Civil War. It was a key city.
Okay.
Not Civil War, I meant civil rights.
Civil rights, that's what I figured you meant. Yeah.
Civil rights. It was a key city during civil rights when it came for that, because it was somebody trying to come in your room.
No, I think it's a cat trying to get out.
Okay, because I seen it open and then it closed. Okay. All right, I'm just making sure. Hey, there you go. It was a very segregated town, and my mother got one house over the dividing line. Like she fought and she got this house in the 70s over this dividing line. Basically, she broke the red line code and she got that house. Wow. Because once again, my mother was a nurse, the nurse that was helping people cross over. This judge, his last thing before he died, he got her this house. It was we paid for it, but he signed the paperwork so she could have that home. She could have over the line. Yeah, the area that we're in. So it was a lot of people that used to, come by the house to try to intimidate and, do things there. But like I said, that spirit, I don't care what people believe. That spirit, you come up in that house, you're leaving with some lumps. You have bad intentions. And someone tried to break up in our house one time and the spirit closed the window down on them. Whoa, are they like trapped in, so like slammed it down on them and they're slammed it down. Oh. Yep. That's good. Is that how so it's always been it's like I said, from birth, it's always been a thing for me. And it's the same way like with my kids. I've got photos, with my kids playing, especially my youngest one, 'cause we got cell phone video. He's playing and you can see all the orbs just floating around him in the video.
Now, what do you feel when you see orbs? What do you think they are? What do you feel from them?
When I see those orbs in particular, those are the little white ones. I think those are like guardians. Like those don't.
Yeah, I've always thought they're like fairies or guardians or something like that. Yeah.
They're just there. Those are good ones, and I'm not worried about it. I've never seen anything like what I see around my kids, and so that's I don't want them to ever see that what I see. But I mean, when I was little, I want to call it the little troll.
I saw a leprechaun. I did. I remember I was a baby and I saw a leprechaun. Yeah. Is it something like that? You saw like a little person that's weird looking or something?
A little person, I want to say about a foot high.
That's what I saw. It was about foot high. Yeah.
It used to peek at me around corners. Like I'll be doing something. It'll just do the hi around the front and then jump back real quick.
That sounds like were you a baby or were you a baby or were you like about 2 or like young or
probably like around 3?
Okay. I remember, maybe I was around that age because you don't usually remember before 1 or 2, but I remember seeing a leprechaun coming around. Now, someone's told me, I didn't know it was a leprechaun. It was just this weird little thing about a foot tall with a weird face, and he was like beckoning me. He was like, beckon. And he kind of moved like this, like he walked, he like hopped up and down, like, and I found out from a friend who I hope to interview on the show, Akasha, she's a witch. She told me that leprechauns and maybe little trolls, say about a foot tall, they come after the little kids.
Honestly, it might have been a leprechaun.
I don't know if mine was a leprechaun. Yeah, I don't know how to describe it.
I call it a troll because when I think of trolls, those ears.
Yeah,
and the long
mine had the long. Yeah,
long nose and the ears, and it was like, I don't know. I just see it like being a little dark, like the skin tone. I want to say like almost like dark grayish.
Yeah, that's how mine was. It was like it wasn't like almost a dark tan, but it could have been gray. It was like it wasn't like any human type skin.
It wasn't a normal color. Definitely not a human color. It was a weird thing, and it just to peek around the corners, and I'm like, well, I'm dealing with Joseph right now, so I don't care what around corners at me.
Joseph kept him. This is what Akasha told me they do. Supposedly those types, they come and steal babies and take them to the fairy land. Oh. And then they might bring them back when they're like 40 or something. Who knows? That's what she told me, and I've read a little bit.
Wow.
That's if it's a leprechaun, but I don't know. It sounds like we saw the same thing.
I don't know. That's my best between a leprechaun and a troll. That's the closest thing I can see.
I can see troll. Yeah, with this memory I have, I can see how you'd think troll. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's something unusual, definitely.
Well, I mean,
so where are you now with your progression or with your habits, or how are you dealing with spirits these days? Or you said while you're filming, you've had a lot of activity. So now you're not filming for a moment. How's it going? Other than the computer getting unplugged.
This is day 1 from not filming.
So what is it like when you are filming? Do they help you?
I mean, it's just like, it's that crowdedness that like everybody wants to see what I'm doing. I feel like when I'm in the moment, especially because this project, I'm interviewing people and it's deep, heavy subjects because we're discussing race relations in America.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's we're covering race relations in America. So it just the topics are heavy. I'm laughing.
It's a heavy one, yeah.
Okay, yeah, it's really, really heavy. And so I think, I don't have my barriers up as much, because I'm trying to, it's hard to deal with those emotions from the people and keep up my barriers to block the spirits. So it's like they feel like the barrier is down a little. Any little crack, they're jumping in. But I think it's down where it's like, I feel like it's 4 or 5 people. Like when I'm talking to the people, I feel like 4 or 5 other people like over my shoulder, like, and then what?
They're organizing, prioritizing.
It's like they're over there. But then the problem is when I get home and I'm trying to sleep, they're all there.
They don't sleep.
I have to sit there and I have to talk, tell them, I need to get some sleep. I can't deal with y'all right now.
And do you say that out loud, or do you say it in your mind? Okay.
No, I tell them out loud, like, nope. I was like, I can't deal with y'all right now. Y'all need to leave me alone.
Would you say
Now,
there's something you have to also feel like really mean it? Because I've heard people say they've tried to tell spirits to go away and they won't. Do you feel like there's something you have to really mean it, or you have to really feel the energy of saying go away while you're saying it?
I think in my case I do, so I don't have to think about it, because I really do like, look, get the F away from me. I need to go to sleep. When I'm telling them I'm so annoyed and so upset, like I mean it with all my heart, mind, body, and soul. Get away. I don't need you right now. Like, go, let me get through this. Whatever you're trying to say, you can do at another time. Except when it's my great aunt, I can't. She just gonna be like, whatever.
Yeah.
Great aunt shows up, I just gotta deal with whatever. But it's so funny because when my great aunt first passed, I used to see her sitting on the edge of my mom would be up in the middle of the night, and I would just see her sitting up talking. And then I would look and I would catch a glimpse of my great aunt. And I used to see that when I was little all the time. But now, and it's funny because now my mom says she no longer sees my great aunt. I'm like, that's because she over here with me. Like, she's over here bugging me. That's why. But in her, like, I want to say, oh my God, she's the funniest thing. My great aunt, you gotta understand, she had a lot of her conversations while she was in the kitchen washing dishes. And you gotta understand, I was, even though, my mom was, with 7 kids, she was busy working her butt off. So I spent a lot of time with my great aunt. A lot of people think you spend a lot of time with your grandmother. I spent a lot of time with my great aunt because my great aunt was closer to us. So my great aunt, like, I was her baby. And so it's a lot of things that she does that's very comforting. Like,
okay.
It was, I swear, it was one day I was in the kitchen and the dishes need to be washed. I was going to tell one of the kids to wash the dishes, and like, I could hear, get your ass in this kitchen to wash the dishes. But she talks, she's a cussing woman, a sailor. So it was just like so funny because I like jumped, like I heard her, and I like, did it. And then it was another time, I dove with me and my people. I get the people that, because I do so much, that I get the people that are kind of jealous. So I was having one of those moments where someone was trying to just complain because I'm just being myself and trying to tell me that I'm doing too much. And in the midst of them, talking on the phone, I heard her say, "You still on the phone? Hang it up." It's like the only thing keeping you in this conversation is you. You can
You're being
hang it up.
You can hang up.
Did she hang it up? But it's really aggressive, huh?
Did the other person hear it too?
I don't know if they heard it or not. It's just really
they were just running their mouth.
Hang up. And like, so I just hung up, and then I like instantly felt so much better. Like I'm not dealing with it.
They probably were draining your energy too when they're telling you, trying to take some for themselves. Like, you don't need to do it. Give it to me. It's kind of.
Yeah. And that's like what happens. And I've learned this. That's the process. I think a lot of spirits are around to teach me a lesson and to help me get to where I need to be, because I did let people drain me in the past. And now I'm like, I love my peace. I don't have time for it.
Right.
So,
me too.
Look, forget you, because I don't have time for it. But, it's just the type, I can tell now that I see the patterns of it. When I was really agitated or whatever, that's when the negative type ones were going on. And that was when I was having the loud ringing in my ears, and it felt like I was hearing trumps and harpets and all type of going on. I felt like it was like the horns of a crusade coming, and it would be in the middle of the night. And I was laughing because some people was like, "Oh, that's just tinnitus." I'm like, no, I actually have tinnitus. That's not it. I'm like, it's not the same at all. I have tinnitus from military issues.
Yeah.
It's not. No, it's not that. It's not. No. It's completely different. But I don't know. I want to say.
Have you ever met anyone like you? Like, talked face to, other than you've been related to? Like, just come across someone in work or in life who said, that kind of stuff happens to me too, because I haven't. It happens to you. I haven't come across anyone.
No, I've never met anyone that has it like I have it.
something that always stuck out in my head about you, it's just I like biology. And you were born with 6 fingers on your hands and toes, right?
Yes.
Six toes on each foot, fingers on each hand. So
Yes.
supposedly that's a dominant trait. And so for you to have it's pretty, it was somehow like it went away, even though it's a dominant trait. So and we've talked about this in the past, how much I'd love to be able to read that pinky finger because I read palms.
You want to read
And
my
I
love?
want to read your nub. Yeah. So I have looked into palmistry for people with 6 hands, and it says with the 6 finger there, you're going to have a great riches, great fame, or along those lines, but some sorrows, some sorrows that match, and some hardships that match is what I understand from that finger. And it's also a trait that goes all the way back. If you could, you can actually trace it to a certain area of Africa where this trait became a mutation and was dominant. So, and in this, from what this is a while ago that I researched, it's just coming to mind, but a lot of the people in this area very much worked with spirits, from what I remember reading.
Wow.
So it could be that, there could be something actually biological about you that makes this stuff so amplified and so like right in your face for you.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, I truly believe it's something in our makeup and something in our chemistry that makes some of us more susceptible
I do
than
too.
others. Yeah, but I also believe everyone has some form of psychic ability, whether it's you just thinking about a person right before they call and then they call, it's just mild, but it's just, how open that you are to it, I guess. And I guess coming from the family that I come from, it just, it was just normal life.
Right. That's really great that it was normalized for you. Because I mean, I can't imagine having that experience without having the mother you had being able to
God.
say, this is what's going on.
I would be straight cuckoo pops if I, the mother that I had normalizing, things. I mean, because she was experiencing her own things too. But my mama said that she used to see spirits so vividly, because like I said, it's a different time frame. We have all types of technology, TVs and social media and all type of stuff. She was like, she used to think her people, like when she seen them, she used to think they was just like real people, and she'll be playing with whatever real people, different looking people than her, but just real people. But you got to think she's in this country town and not really, seeing a lot. And she was like, her mother, because, it was 20 of them. So she just was.
It's just one of my brothers and sisters that I forgot about.
It was like no different than, another relative showing up or whatever. And that's what she used to think.
Yeah.
But on the flip side of that, my Aunt Marcia, hers was so bad it caused her to, to have the split personality.
Oh,
because my grandmother wasn't accepting how my mother is.
Okay.
My grandmother is one of those people that would call them, those the devil. She got the devil in her.
Yeah.
And that's how she did my Aunt Marcia.
Yeah, so I'm sure Aunt Marcia didn't really feel too good about having the devil attack her all the time, if that's what she was told.
She ended up, with mental issues. So, it can go when you don't.
A lot of people do. A lot of people who go through these experiences, like what you're talking about, like what happened to me and a lot of other people, that's what our culture does. It's like, if you have these experiences, there's something wrong with you. It's a problem and it's medical, or something like that. Not necessarily. I mean, they can go together in some ways, but not necessarily. I mean, it's just a cultural thing. Our culture in America is like starting to open up a little bit to these ideas now. A lot. Like I go to books, I've talked about this before. I go to Books a Million, right front row, all body, mind, spirit, stuff like that. In Alabama, it's crazy.
It's getting a lot better. And I mean, it's funny because Black people were the worst when it comes to spirits and believing in that stuff, because it was literally beating us that it was the devil. It's, everything. So the fact that people are opening up, I'm just loving it. Just, because my thing is this: how can you believe in God but not believe in everything else when they talk about it in the Bible? So that's my whole thing. Yeah, they talk about it in the Bible. So it makes, zero sense to me that you're saying believe all this and you follow the Bible, and the Bible telling you everything is there.
Yeah.
But now, I mean, it absolutely makes
it
zero.
gives other people a lack of control if they want control and power over, say, their children or other people,
Yeah.
to tell people that their experiences are not valid and that this person who wants the power knows the real truth about what's happening to them, because that's
Yeah.
how they keep their power, which is unfortunate.
That's sad. If I didn't have the mother that I have no doubt that I would have been heavily medicated.
Yeah. I'm glad you had your mom, because she's from all the stories I've heard, your mom is just, she's like, praise mama. She's great for Omegia. She did you so good. I mean,
Yeah.
we can maybe we're going a little long. I guess we'll go ahead and sum it up for now. But if you want to be a guest again, I would love that. And we could talk about your mom and the crazy, miraculous things she's experienced, because that would be fun if you want to.
I'm more than welcome. You're my girl. I love it.
I'm glad you love it. Yay! So if you would like to, you can let people know where they might find anything out about you, if you would.
Oh, okay. Like, so right now, what I would really like people to do is actually go like my Survive in America 2020 page, because that is the project that I'm on. However you feel about race relations in America, we're talking about it there. But, I can say I'm a little biased because, I have had my little racist experiences, not moments, but experiences. So like, even if you're somebody that does not believe racism exists or white privilege, any of that stuff, just go follow the page and check out the stories, just so you can hear the stories from people.
Is this page on Facebook?
Yeah, it's on Facebook, it's on IG, and it's on Twitter.
Okay, great. Y'all follow that. Check it out. I've been following it all along, and I love it. She's doing a great work. Opening some minds. Seriously, she's opened my mind a lot. Thank you so much, Omegia, for coming. And you covered for me in the beginning of the interview when I forgot to ask if you think we're all psychic. So I'll go ahead and do it for real. Hey, Omegia, do you think we're all psychic?
Absolutely.
And thank you all for listening, and we'll catch you later. Say goodbye, Omegia.
Bye.
Thank you, Omegia. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
So just an afternote from listening to the interview with Omegia and editing it, you would not believe the weird stuff in the audio. There was one whole clip where she was completely down. You will hear that clip somewhere in the middle of this interview, where everything is just dead quiet on her end, and I'm really loud, so it sounds strange in that one clip. But I'll tell you what, that was a fun interview, and if any of you would like to be interviewed, anybody, send me an email at lisa@weareallpsychic.com and come visit the website www.weareallpsychic.com, and I just put up a forum. Come explore. Thank you. Bye.